Looks like we'll have to find another way through. Looks like we'll have to find another way through.
Is he really like me? I get the feeling I'd actually like him.
It's worse than rot! Worse than rot!
Right flank! Worse than rot!
I think this is the only way down. After you.
Don't look down.
Worse than rot!
Walk like it's hard. Child play.
Worse than rot!
Do you have a moment, Marius?
Right. I guess I do.
Do you ever wonder how we invented bread?
What?
I just wonder who looked at yeast, grain, and eggs and decided to add heat to all that, and to see what came of it.
Why are we talking about this?
Do you think it was an accident? Do you think they did an egg? No, think bread.
Maybe it came about over centuries of messing around with different mixtures and cooking techniques.
Well, if you won't take it seriously, there's no point in discussing this.
I was perfectly fine assuming this place was a legend. Now it's too blessed real. Well, good for you. Some of us have to adjust to bizarre, magical Sokka like this. I've never been comfortable with things I can't explain. If there isn't a poultice for it, I don't want it. I'd rather just grit my teeth and push through this whole thing. I'm completely out of my depth. Right. Let's get back to work then. Anyway. You too. Yatzli, why did I wake up to smell perfume in my bedroll this morning?
Don't tease, darling. We both know why.
No one else has complained about my smell.
I was attempting a more subtle approach.
Spraying strong perfume on my stuff isn't subtle.
Oh, is it too strong? I'll try another batch. Perhaps that'll be more to your liking.
Right, that won't be necessary.
Oh, trust me, it's necessary.
When you find Sapadal, I hope you tell him how much I love what they've done with this place. And you've got to enjoy it where you can find it. Besides, as divine prisons go, I can imagine much worse. True enough. Makes me wonder if confinement was the real goal, or simply the only option at the time. One thing's for sure, imprisonment has only riled Sapadal up. Judging from their outbursts at Mount Forja and Nakukubel, they haven't exactly taken this time to reflect and relax. Exactly. And what are the odds that centuries of imprisonment have improved their temper? Setting them free means gambling with the lives of everyone in the living lands. It's not worth it, but it's not my call. And I don't envy you having to deal with the loose cannon of a god. But I envy even less the mess you're going to have if, when, we escape this place. I hate to burst your bubble, but I don't see how that's gonna happen. While we're tracking down your god, things are heating up between your Adiran comrades and the locals. The Steel Garrote leveled fewer. Even if Animancers aren't the most popular bunch, everyone gets nervous when fields burn. And yeah, I know that's on the Steel Garrote, but it's not lost on anyone that your people despise Animancy. Not when Heelgard banned the practice in Paradise. Oh, I wish I were finished. You helped Ludwig destroy Nakukubel. And while most people don't give a tarnished skate for godless ruins, they'll see that as a power. And then there's Solace, the oldest continuously inhabited stronghold in the living lands, the pride of the Porgrunen, now reduced to ash and rubble. Hey, I know you did it for the right reasons. Too bad no one else will. Fairly or not, a lot of blame's gonna be laid at Adir's door. And if I had to guess, I don't think Hilgard's been helping matters while you've been out here. If and when we get out of here, we're walking into a powder keg. And you'll have to choose a side. That's the part I don't envy. I admire your principles, but don't underestimate what they could demand of you. Look, I've been there. I fought for Rauatai's interest in the Deadfire for longer than I like to admit. And lost my stomach for it eventually. That's how I wound up here. But I will tell you now, I never could have fought my own brothers and sisters. I hope that's not what it comes down to. But I'll understand if that's a line you can't cross. I don't mean to burden you. It's late, and you've still got a god to face. Just know that whatever you choose, I'll fight alongside you. I'm with you till the end of this. Anytime. Good night, Envoy.
Even though I can't use them anymore, I'm loath to give away my perfumery supplies.
Why would you have to give them away?
I fear I've lost my sense of smell forever.
What makes you say that?
Well, it's either that or you've suddenly stopped your odorous assault. One is far more likely than the other.
Well, Might have put a bit of that perfume you gave me in my pits. Just a bit.
That's wonderful news. Oh, it doesn't irritate you or anything of the sort?
Not irritated, no.
Good, I'm glad. I was a little worried about not using a seed oil base, but it seems to have smothered your scent quite well.
I just wanted to keep the animals away.
Yes. Keep the animals away, not your friends, dearie. I'll make a new batch for you just as soon as I'm able.
I must admit, I had my doubts about Solace. It was like a dungeon, except the wardens were the prisoners. What possessed you to destroy the keep? You broke an egg to make an omelette, in other words. Maybe it isn't all bad. Maybe now the wardens can decide who and what they are, with no traditions holding them back. Or maybe I'm guilty of wishful thinking, trying to find meaning in the midst of chaos. No matter how it turns out, I hate to see another settlement destroyed by fire. It feels like the burned queen is opening her shriveled mouth to consume the island whole. As do I. But there's no point in wondering what could have been. Don't worry about me. I have other traumas to keep me up at night. And besides, this is about you. Wherever you go, you break people out of their habits. You banish the old ways. Or perhaps you don't give yourself enough. Wherever that power comes from, whether it's your heritage or political status, it's a terrible burden. I don't envy you, but at least you keep things interesting. Anything in particular? I don't know what I expected. Everything here feels wrong, as if we're standing in the eye of a storm. Can you feel it? Essences radiating from the very stones on which we walk. This is a place of power, forgotten by time. We are insignificant by comparison. Does that answer your question? Thank goodness. One word of advice. Trust nothing you see or hear. For all we know, this is happening in your head. Or better yet, in mine. Well, that depends. I know a few spooky stories about the living lands. They may or may not have anything to do with the garden.
Okay. But if something goes bump in the night, I'm waking you up.
Let me think of a good one. There are so many, I can't decide. Which do you want to hear first? I know one about a ranger's dream, one about a haunted well, and one about a golden city. Many years ago, when Fior Mesiverno was barely a dot on the map, an animancer got lost in the wilderness. He came upon a pair of ancient trees, their trunks and branches intertwined. A strange light shone in the space between the trees, and beyond that light, a city of gold. So the animancer returned with an axe to chop the trees apart and fit his body through the narrow gap. But with every blow of his axe, the towers of the golden city fell. The walls crumbled, the lights flickered out. By the time he made it through, there was nothing left. Only the bones of a once mighty civilization. As for the two trees, they were dead, hacked to splinters, leaving him no path back the way he came. The end of one story, and perhaps the beginning of another. It's very strange. I can't remember who told me that story, and no one claims to have heard it before. Of course. Which one did you have in mind? One sunny day, a ranger took a nap in the woods of Emerald Stair. He awoke to a forest of dead trees, the night sky full of unfamiliar stars. After getting his bearings, he walked in the direction of Fior Mesiverno, but the settlement was gone. In its place was the most beautiful garden, hills bursting with flowers, the grass as soft as Valiant silk. Enchanted by this vision, he bent to pick a rose, but its thorn cut like a knife, severing 3 fingers. Then, a voice filled his head, shouting, "Go now, before the land takes you, body and soul." He awoke in his own bed, a wilted rose clutched in his 2-fingered hand. It's nonsense, of course, but that's why I like it. Of course. Which one did you have in mind? Once upon a time, a young girl left town to fetch water from the local well. After pulling up the rope, she discovered the head of a Delimgan, one of the tree folk, staring at her from the bucket. "Return me to my grove," it said, "and I will grant you 3 wishes." So she carried the head into a peaceful clearing and sat it down on a tree stump. First, she wished for long life. The head granted her wish. Second, she wished to be impervious to a sword blade. Granted. And finally, she wished to know what happens after we die. No one ever saw her again. All they found was an Adra pillar in the middle of a clearing, next to an old stump. I heard it as a child. Took me years before I would fetch water again. Very perceptive. What do you think it is? I have my own opinion, but I'm curious about yours. As an animancer, I hear that one a lot. These stories might not shine any light on the garden, but they could inform the way we think about it. First, the garden is beyond all mortal understanding. If you think you're safe here, you're not. And second, when you walk into the unknown, make sure to bring a friend. Indeed, I couldn't have made it this far on my own. Hey, you're a good listener. Not everyone has the patience to hold their questions to the end. Alas, that is all I can tell you about the garden. For now, at least. Not before I've done some reading. Let me get this straight. You spoke to the spirit of Nandru, a godlike, same as you. What did he say? Any advice? Any words of encouragement? Oh. I take it that wasn't what you expected. I should have seen this coming. Never listen to the dead. They're cynical, full of regret, and determined to make us all miserable. Thankfully, you're still alive. Fate is in your hands. What happened to Nandru was ages ago. Plenty of time to reconsider one's choices. No one is closer to Sapadal than you are. Nandru lost that privilege when he died, which means you alone can judge the god of the living lands. Your opinion is the one that counts. That's perfectly valid. Gods are terrifying in the best of times. For what it's worth, I think you're going to be fine. No matter what you do about Sapadal, it can't get any worse. I wish I could say the same for the living lands. Pleasant dreams. Does anyone want to share a scary story?
No.
God's no.
Why not? We've got everything we need. Crackling campfire, foreboding ambiance.
I actually need to get some rest tonight. I'd rather not spend the whole night screaming in my sleep.
Well, I liked Giatta's story.
Thank you, Yatzli. I suppose I owe the rest of you an apology. I didn't mean to frighten anyone.
Your stories are very good. They're just feeling a little too close to reality right now. Or...
A breath held. Trepidation. You are close, yet distant still. The moon has many faces. Different songs for different days. We know your light. We did not foresee this. The debt of knowledge we concede. The sky is green. The fish breathes air. We can no longer imagine. No, we must recall, plumb the depths of our memory. We would run, roll with the tide, sink our fingers into new earth. Whisper in the fields, lift the hills gently in our hands. Disturb the dirt, but spare the blooms. Shake the roots slowly. Vengeance denied, squandered. This cannot... We speak of freedom when the hand still clasps around our throat. Wake now. Find us.
Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Or am I going mad? What is the meaning of this? It can't be real. This is an illusion. A joke. Tell me we're both seeing the same thing. But worse. So much worse. Why am I cursed to see this again? Why does the memory follow me wherever I go? Wanna know what I think? I think someone's laughing at me. Whoever is responsible, I'm tired of the bullshit. Step forward and answer for yourself, coward!
Godlike of Sapadal, long have we awaited you.
Finally, you've come home.
It's not just me, right? The plants are talking.
Oh my gods. They're alive? What do you think you're doing?
Giatta Castell, welcome.
Wait, you know me? How do you know me?
For centuries, our whispers filled the silence. Then we heard your mother's call.
My mother? You... heard her?
She reached out to us, using the tool you now carry.
But that would have been years ago. The first time she used the phantasmal focus. The only time she used it.
We heard, and Sapadal answered, saying in a great voice, "We are here. You have found us."
But when Sapadal speaks, the living lands trembles. The voice of a god can be a terrible thing.
No, this can't be. What exactly happened to my parents? Tell me, please. I need to know.
Sapadal wanted to be heard, and in so doing, twisted your family in body and soul, broke them into a more suitable shape.
Sapadal does not know the limits of their strength. Mistakes were made.
Mistakes were made? Do you have any idea what my life has been since your little mistake?
After the incident, your parents were like us, and we took pity, so we helped them move on, as they wanted.
In the end, they thought only of you, their pride, and their love.
That's it. That's really it. The answer I've been searching for all these years. Sapadal destroyed my family. I know they are. My mother and father would not have wanted this. A good animancer embraces death. And they were the best. I don't hold you responsible. I don't even know if I hold Sapadal responsible. Your god has the intelligence of a scatterbrained goat. But that isn't their fault. It's simply how they came into being.
We are companions. Toys. Diversions. Sapadal fashioned us out of dreams and memories.
I can't believe it never occurred to me. They're animats. Ancient vessels held together with duty and loyalty. Their design is unusual. Organic, much like the garden itself. Sapadal's work. All this time, your god has been making imaginary friends. Drawing pictures on the walls of their cell. It's almost too sad to imagine. One final question, spirits. What is this? Why are you trying to ruin my life again? Is this your way of haunting me? What is it you want?
Not to be pedantic, but that was 4 questions.
We want to apologize on Sapadal's behalf, and for the part we played in your sorrow.
They want to apologize. I came to the garden for answers, not to offer forgiveness. For once, I'm going to heed my own advice. Listen to what my heart tells me. Damn it. I can't believe I'm about to say this. Sapadal has been trapped here for millennia. Alone. Confused. Screaming into the void for anyone who will listen. When they heard the voice of a stranger, they overreacted. How can I hold that against you? Apology accepted.
Thank you, Giatta. And thank you, Godlike, for bringing her all this way.
The time has come for you to find your patron, as you were meant to.
Now that you have returned to the garden, Sapadal has everything they need. We will fade, as all things fade. Death is indifferent, not cruel, not merciful, merely inevitable. The pulling of an ancient weed.
We will return to the soil from which we emerged. In time, you will do the same.
A garden is whatever you plant in it.
Sapadal wishes to be understood, as all mortals do. Seen, as all mortals are. What you see is the truth, glimpsed through their eyes, and they wish to share it. Our purpose draws to a close. A long rest is assured. May the living lands receive you with open arms. Farewell.
Goodbye. We need to talk about this, but not here.
This feels like one of those times when getting answers doesn't mean getting closure.
I see the disciple has found her way into the cell.
No. Clarion Steel. We know this voice. Why is she here?
Everywhere my tools have mouths to speak.
Out. Out. Her voice pierces our skin.
Look at this place. A quagmire of your parasite's worst instincts. Can you even begin to grasp the forces that you tamper with? Apparently, I missed. The situation is worse than I perceived. Do you think you're special? With your god's thorn in your side? Do you believe you can hold dominion over chaos itself? When even the collective fury of the real gods could only confine the sniveling creature to this wasteland. Who else would have the strength?
It is true. She twists the knife. The seas run red with memory.
In time, the gods felt the wretched power seeping through this land. Its madness would consume us all if it was not contained. Chaos has no respect for others. It goes where it will. A pity that its followers could not be reasoned with. The poor goddess, worshiping the very thing that's obscene. We could not excise the rot and spare the roots that nourished it. You know the trials of battle. You cannot pass judgment on me. They bring law from ashes. Your tyrant destroys for its own sake.
We moved the earth and sky to stop her. We did not mean this.
Listen to its tantrum. It knows neither order nor sense. Adir is the only thing holding back the tide of entropy. The answer is obvious to those with the courage to accept it. You are here now. There's still time to succeed where Ludwig failed. Face your false god and end its reign of terror permanently. Your soul, it is tethered to you. Only you can siphon its essence into yourself. The path of justice is fraught. Only the strong may follow it. I leave you with a warning. The false god's essence is strong here. It taints all it touches. My Maegfolc may be hostile to you. Stay vigilant and remember your oath.
Never understood Woedica's appeal. Still don't.
I never thought I'd learn of the Godless's fate from their killer. Someone's eager to meet us.
Worth and rot! Worth and rot! Worth and rot!
ready for more.
What is that? I know that place, right? Oh no. No. Why is this? Gods. I can't. What's happening here?
This is the moment I found you, bundled and crying, while our parents died.
Viate. You're not here. You can't be here.
I am dead, Viate, from the Dreamscourge. We are in the garden. As strange as this seems, it is normal here.
Iancu. Viate. I left you behind when I left Solace.
And I've found you once again, old friend.
You? No. What kind of blessed ape brain scramble is this?
Please, Viate. This is where you need to be right now.
I remember this. Tukte Dragu, if you think... No, I don't want this. Then for the god's sake, what is it? I am exhausted, Viate. I can't take much more of this.
You know where we are. This is my memory. When everyone died, and I found you back in your tent. How much of this do you remember? I can't tell from your eyes.
Oh, not much. I only remember fear, and sadness. And you as a kid picking me up and taking me to Solace.
Sapadal wants to understand. They know your envoy very well, but not the people next to them.
I can't do this, Iancu. I forgot this for a reason.
And that's why you're here, Nimdut. You can't face a god with piles of Saka in your soul. Even when we were children, you kept me alive, first by needing my protection, and then by being who you turned out to be. When you left Solace, it was like I lost more than my best friend. I lost my need to live.
You kept everything a secret from me. All that time. A best friend doesn't do that.
I thought I was protecting you. We all were. Why expose a child to such a traumatic event?
You handled it just fine.
Did I? Look at me. Name a single day when those memories didn't hold me back. I was afraid every day. I needed you to ground me.
I never realized what you were dealing with. Gods, I'm sorry, Viate. So, what do we do now?
I feel strongly that there's nothing left to forgive.
Easier said than accepted, Viate. Forgiving myself is the hardest part. I don't know. I can't. It's too much. Not this and everything else too. It's too blessed much.
I understand that, Viate. I really do. I'm glad to hear it. Marius is worth the effort, I promise you.
Don't listen to him, Envoy. If he knew anything at all, he wouldn't be dead.
Get out of here. Hike up your waistline and go talk to a god. They'll be waiting.
Oh, it was good to see you, Giatta. Even with all this.
Take care of my little friend, Envoy. He needs you more than he'll say.
and rust!
I came here to help you do whatever you're supposed to do with your god friend. Instead, I'm here talking to dead people. I've had necrotic toes that were easier to deal with. I will say, it's not really what I expected when I started tracking you and Kai back in Paradise. No, I was thinking more in terms of hunting for wild game and peeing on Kai to put the fires out. It's been a bit of a ride, Envoy. I feel like it's coming to an end. One way or another. I think maybe this is all for the best. No matter what happens. Maybe all of this will be worth it. We have a lot to do, Envoy. Maybe we should get to it.
All this time, I thought my parents died in a freak accident. An experiment gone awry. A mistake. And in a way, they did. But it wasn't their mistake. It was Sapadal's. Generous? Perhaps. Until I knew the whole story, there was never anyone to blame. This whole experience has me considering my family's work in a different light. Look at what my mother accomplished. Armed with her research and her wits, she found a god. When you speak to a god, it's nothing. Barely a reflex. But for the rest of us, it's unimaginable. No animancer can live up to that. Certainly not me. I thought their legacy was a curse, and I could only break it by completing their work. I was wrong. As an animancer, I do admire them. I really do. As their daughter, it's complicated. One thing is certain. When it comes to animancy, I need to unlearn some of my old assumptions. I wanted to tame the spirit of the living lands. Now, there's so much about it I don't understand. And it's creepy, but wonderful. Perhaps, as long as no one gets in my way. I believe the power flowing out of the garden drove this island mad. It has to end. Through animancy, we could help the living lands recover. It would take a lifetime, maybe more, but that's a small price to pay. Then again, who am I to interfere with an ecosystem that I barely understand? On the other hand, half the fun of animancy is stirring the pot and getting into trouble. I think I know what I want, but there are too many variables to consider. What do you think? I have a lot of catching up to do, and plenty of room to grow. But I think you're right. So be it. Starting today, I don't have to live up to anyone's example. Animancy can be whatever I make of it. I knew they would be. And not just because some ancient plans told me so. Now I just have to decide which field of research to pursue. But no need to bore you with the details. I've only got one lifetime as Giatta Castel, so I'd better make it count. You and I do not always see eye to eye. But just this once, thank you for hearing me out.
You're good with the animancy stuff. You should keep, doing that.
Hey, Giatta. How are you holding up after seeing those, plant people?
Well, I've seen things not intended for mortal eyes, and uncovered the dark truth of my family's downfall. But here I am. And how are you?
Don't worry about me. I just want to know how you're feeling.
I'm complicated. But at least I know what happened to my parents.
Knowing's one thing. Feeling okay about it's another.
Yes, that part could take a while.
As long as it doesn't turn into a ghost story. I'm here if you need to talk.
I'm talking right now.
It won't be easy, but you have to let yourself feel it. All of it. Even the parts that hurt like a blessed saltfly bite.
Just be kind to yourself, dearie.
I don't know what to say, except I'm grateful to know each of you.
What a massacre.
Worth and rot!
Oh, no, no!
Worth and rot! Worth and rot!
This cairn looks familiar. It looks like one of the ones outside of Thirdborn, doesn't it?
You seen this too? No. No. This can't be. This room. It looks just like Tama's. Tama. No. No. This can't be. I escaped this memory. What is this, Envoy? This is your god's prison, not mine. For all of her litanies on oaths, order, and justice, I forgot she's also the god of vengeance. Is this really him? He looks older than I remember. Too late. It's already found mine. I've seen this moment playing through my head so many nights, run from it each and every time, and still, somehow, it finds me here, in a crazy god's fever dream. And I thought Rauatai and naval punishments were cruel. I guess I should be grateful it's not really him. I'd hate to imagine him stuck in this moment. That he lived, and we laughed about it and grew old together. But I'd settle for remembering the good times we did have, instead of this. I've escaped ambushes, wars, and gambling debts, but I have never figured out how to get away from this. And do what? Say goodbye to Tama. I missed that chance. When you put it that way, I suppose it can't hurt to try, can it? Tama, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I ran when you needed me. I'm sorry I've kept running all this time. You taught me how to keep sand out of my rifle and what it means to be part of a team. And now, despite my best efforts, you're teaching me how to let go. I can't change the past. But if Bareth brings us together again, I will make it up to you at the next turn of the wheel. Yeah? Huh. I just wish I'd said it sooner. Come on. I've seen enough of this place. Let's go find your god.
What, like it's hard?
Worth and rot! Worth and wrath! Worth and wrath! Worth and wrath!
Next one's mine!
You asked for it!
Is that all you got?
Worth and wrath!
I was just getting warmed up.
Worth and wrath!
Incredible.
To see all this in its heyday, in its full splendor.
is happening? As the affliction fester even here, it threatens our heart. We cannot fight this invasion alone. See clearly. We must.
worth and rot! Worth and rot!
Coming from the right! Let's do this!
On the left!
Worth and rot! Worth and rot!
centuries before. The shale rises to smother us. Keep them out. Keep us in. We feel no spark of the Tabaris Inachus in this place. We cannot see it through their eyes. We slumber here, alone. The deer, the owls in our trunk, they took it all away. A tide of souls thrown upon the wheel. The ground gives way. We fall. Now our memory is a wound reopened. They came suddenly. The stillness of night split by grinding steel. We had no time to speculate. First, they blinded us. Shining eyes pierced the concealing dark. Then they burned. Smoke ensnared the moonlight. The Akita screamed. No. We saw a terrible design in the roaring flames. They had carved a path to the temple. We were their true prey. Prune the branch, 3 grow in its place. We persisted, we were everywhere. How could they cull the wind? How could they trap the stars? Then, they turned to what the Akita had made. They toppled the statues. They set the libraries ablaze. They could not destroy us. They would destroy all who knew us. The Akita howled. They died. We cried out, sundered soul by soul. We broke the earth, called down the storm, flung lightning from our hands. But they marched on. We grew tired. In fury, we exposed ourselves. Our flailing smothered the cries. Were they theirs? Ours? The needle struck. In raised machines, we tried to tear down the garden's walls. Then, nothing. Not death. Worse. A void. We reached out, but the machines held us in. We could not feel the new day's sun play in the shifting tide. The cities crumbled. We could not save them. We could not save ourselves. Extinction bought with blood. The victor rides with the ash. We watched helplessly for aeons. Until you. A gift beyond our choosing. A burden we feel, we know. The wound numbs now. We watch as the river of time expands. In the silence of our prison we find clarity. How many voices lost? How many saplings have we cut down? We sink into the endless night. Perhaps we should be here. We are the rain, the swaying grass. What do they have to fear? We speak, though we are bound. Perhaps our soul was always free. Soil stirs. We have a new memory of this place. You opened the final lock, entered the hidden glade. You listened. You stand at a cliff now. We watch your footsteps carefully. We twine together. We reach for the sky. We grow. We grow. We grow.
Oh, no, you don't!
Worth and rot!
Better part of that.
Worth and rot! Worth and rot! Worth and rot! Worth and rot!
Check your right. Get them next time, dear.
Go!
Get off me!
Make way!
Enjoy the cake! Here's
Worth and rot! Worth and rot! Worth and rot!
Got company!
My turn. You take lead.
Worth and rot! worth it.
We make a good squad.
Worth and rot!
I'll never understand the Akkadian love for death traps.
I'm starting to think these people killed themselves off.
Worth and rot! Worth and rot! Worth and rot! Worth and rot!
This place seems less like a death trap. Maybe we could stop, catch our breath.
There's always a weird sort of quiet on the eve of battle. I'm feeling that now. Seems like a good time to gather our thoughts and share a drink before whatever's coming.
Right. This seems like a perfect place to stop and relax.
Though it's hard enough to tell what's real here without a belly full of drink.
Sounds like you're nervous, dearie.
I'm feeling all kinds of ways. Anxious, excited, scared, hungry.
I feel it as well. It is only mortal to feel overwhelmed in the presence of the immortal.
Oh, you don't have to worry about me. Getting to see that vision of Tama did me good. Like, I finally let go of something I'd been holding too long. Now that we're here, I'm eager to see this through. Nothing worse than holding your breath and waiting. I can't say that I'm prepared, but I'm ready.
I had a feeling you might ask me that. I'm not sure I've really worked through what I've seen here, but I am grateful for the chance to see Yonku again. I feel like we're almost done with all of this, but we are in the weirdest place in the world, so who knows? I'm completely baffled, but when haven't I been lately? Being afraid doesn't even feel scary anymore.
I think so. The garden is so much more than I expected. Full of contradictions. Wild, yet serene. Truthfully, I didn't come all this way searching for my own answers. But I found them. Or perhaps they found me. And now, it's like there's a new path laid out before me. A life after the Dreamscourge. We're close to something. A threshold between calm and crisis. Conflict and peace. Life and death. So am I. None of us could have gotten this far on our own.
Well, I won't lie to you, Envoy. A lot's happened. But here we are. I just need a moment to take it all in. We all could, but I don't think we'll get it. And I wouldn't worry. Our little group here is perfectly frightening, and I'm sure our enemies would agree. We'll be fine. I can't speak for anyone else, though.
You've listened to all of us. How about you? You've been through a lot since you arrived. You've been shipwrecked and assassinated, harangued by gods, bureaucrats, and a death guard. You've had your soul poked, your loyalties questioned, and your sleep regularly interrupted by a god with no respect for privacy. And yet you've kept yourself and all of us together. How are you really doing?
You're very resilient. Under different circumstances, I would credit your nature as a godlike. But we all know better. You're strong enough to survive anything. Sapadal picked a good soul when they made you.
That actually made sense to me. As if I've learned something about souls and whatnot.
I'll take that as a compliment.
How about you, Envoy? What keeps you so stoic in the face of everything?
Perhaps you don't need to understand. Your natural instincts are working hard enough.
When we first met, I didn't think you'd last long. But then I saw how you handled that Dreamthralled there. Shook off your own death like a bad cold. And then you confronted your own killer and let him go. It takes a special kind of strength to stay your hand in a moment like that.
I didn't know much about you at that point. You were traveling with Kai and you died, which I thought made a lot of sense.
I remember your calm. How you listened to my shouting match with the governor and actually heard me. And when they burned my home, you gave me another one. A sanctuary where I could be myself. I'll never forget that.
You were my hero right away. You rescued me from those sporlings. You got my priceless face. What more could a girl ask for?
And now look at you. Look at us. How far we've come in a short time. Quite a lot, as it turns out. But the journey is worth it.
Not to raise the sails before the anchor, but we left trouble in our wake. Fjord, Thirdborn, Solace. If we make it out of here, it won't be to a living lands suddenly at peace.
Just this once. Could we forget about the rest of the living lands? Some of us could use a break.
That doesn't mean it's Giatta's scary story time, does it?
I thought my stories were insightful.
If we can't take a moment to ourselves on a floating island outside reality, then I don't know where we can.
Don't think I haven't considered it. But our problems won't just go away on their own.
Stay here? I mean, we are here. It's supposed to be paradise. Can't be worse than Galawain's tusks.
Tempting as it sounds, if there's one thing I've learned from you, it's that running from problems only lets them fester.
Unfortunately, you are uniquely qualified to deal with this, so we're stuck fixing things. Dread.
Get some rest. That goes for everyone.
Safe to assume that the large glowing door is part of Sapadal's prison. Now, we'll just have to get past it.
Let's look around. There's got to be a mechanism somewhere around here.
The rot. We feel it festering and spreading. What is it but an extension of our pain? Your Dreamscourge will end when our suffering does. We were innocent once. We woke, and we wanted nothing but connection. But the other gods imprisoned us, left us to suffer alone in this place. But you are here now. You found us, a sprout in the endless winter. There is little time. We would be freed from these bonds. The Strangler is close now. We feel her wire against our flesh. She begs for our blood. Her wolves defile the city on the shore. Blood on the tile. The people's cries ring in our ears. She pierces us now. Now we will not brook this. Not again. A spark. Wait. The essence bends here. Time flows into itself. You can reach her. Will the garden to open, it will take you there. You will not. Center your thoughts. The path will bend to your intent. We were everything. What have we lost? What multitudes could we contain? We could run, leap in the water, flourish in forgotten hills. We mourn our past. We only seek peace now, a chance to regrow. We hear your words. We do not desire it, but we hear them. You met death, and you offered your hand. And where is your mercy for us? You know we deserve better than this. Give us peace. We want a chance to change. We deserve that opportunity. And yet you too have been trusted with so much. But you did not save them, the soul tinkerers in the Green City. We deserve more than this prison. Let us have a chance to rest. We want peace. Or do you have no more mercy for us than you did for the bear? Yes. We long for this too. The time has come for you to act. End our pain, and the Dreamscourge will cease. Give us peace. It is all we have wanted for so long. So be it. It has been so long. Our leaves curl and brown. Despair bleeds through the land. End it. Silence. Stillness. We are done. Unsown. Peace.
dangerous depths.
It's paradise.
Are we back in Dawnshore? Already?
That must have taken an incredible power. Beyond all mortal understanding. How do you feel? Glad it's not just me. Unfortunately, we don't have time to recuperate. Whatever happened back there, it appears our work isn't finished yet.
Are you seeing this? I don't think Paradise looked like this when we left it.
Looks like the war already started, and the giant roots are winning.
Marius, vines don't usually get that big this quickly, do they?
Based on their growth and size, I'd say we've been gone 2 or 3 weeks.
Hey, at least you didn't let 6 years go by.
Who knows if the garden affected time, or merely our perception of time? Assuming there's even a difference.
It's like how a body fights an infection. The fever gives you strange dreams that feel like an eternity.
Look at this place. It feels like we're still in the dream. And not just us. Those are more your people's ships in the harbor, and steel Garrote banners past the barricades. That can't be good.
Even Raingrim is here. Perhaps we'll get to see an Archmage in action.
I think I see Elia as well. What a strange reunion this will be.
The Blessed Wardens are here too. That conflict we've been trying so hard to prevent started without us.
Always better than the reverse.
The Steel Garrote have been itching for a fight this whole time. This would have happened with or without us.
Before we go, what happened back there with the Dreamscourge and Sapadal?
Glad the Dreamscourge is over, but I can't help but think killing a god will have consequences.
I'm sure it wasn't easy, but I think that's for the best, Envoy.
I can't believe Sapadal is gone. For better or worse, the spiritual health of the living lands depended on them. What now?
We took out the Dreamscourge and Sapadal in one fell swoop. Quite impressive, really.
There is no right way to feel. Though it may seem illogical, you are allowed to experience grief and relief at once.
We should take a look. See if we can get ahead of whatever storm is brewing down there.
People seem to be gathering west of here. Whatever's happening, let's be a part of it.